give you a really quick demo on how to create your time-lapse video. So for starters, you should have, at least at this point, recorded a video or two videos of you working for about roughly 10 to 15 minutes. So as you can see, I've already imported my two videos, and I'm going to be showing you how to do this through WeVideo. If you'd like to work with WeVideo, you can find it through LCPS Go, and you can use that through your Chromebook, or I know there's also an application that you might be able to use on your phone as well. In order to import your videos, what you're going to do is you'll find a little tab over here that says Import. Click on it and you can actually drop and drag your media in here. You can also browse to find it in a folder, or you can also click on the icon down here and pull it from your Google Drive. So if you're struggling to how to get your media, your videos imported in order to work with them, using your Google Drive is probably the easiest way to do that. All right, so now you have your videos in, and you will notice with this setup, if I scroll down, you will have a couple of video options and an audio section. If you find that you need more video sections or audio sections for your editing, you can always add more by clicking the little plus button in order to access those. So what I want to do is I want to drag and drop my video down into the editing section. So in this editing section, what I want to do is I now want to speed up my video. I also want to make sure that I get rid of any background music, noise, any sound at all that might really distract from my video. So you'll notice with most time-lapse videos, it's usually just a sped up drawing process accompanied with music. So to do this test run, you kind of want to go through the same process. In order to speed this up, it's actually pretty simple. You just double click on that video, and then you'll notice some different editing options. So they have transform, you can crop, and then if I come over here to volume, I can hit that little mute button, and that mutes the whole video, and none of the sound will come up while I'm editing that video. All right, and then the next thing I want to do is, as you click across, you can actually animate your video. So that means you can pull something across the screen, you can change the color, and then on the last setting, it is speed. So you don't need to touch the first top portion. What you're really looking for is the value. So you'll notice it's a slider from slowest to fastest. So if you wanted to slow down your video, you have that ability to do that as well. But for our purposes, we want to speed things up. So I found, at least for the way that I work, about 7 times the speed worked pretty well. You can also preview how that looks. So here is a quick preview at 7 times the speed versus, if I go back to the original, which was 1 times. So you can see a major difference. 1 times definitely like much slower, and pretty much kind of how I work. And 7 times, as you can see, is definitely a lot faster, but at the same time, you can really still see the process of my sketch as it was developing. All right, so 7 times looks good. I'm gonna save those changes, and you'll notice right away, this video was definitely stretched out much longer, and now it has been significantly reduced. All right, so now I'm gonna grab my second video, and I can either place that video here in another video tab, or I can place it right next to my video because I really want them to play seamlessly next to each other. I'm going to repeat this process, so that means I'm going to double click. I'm going to go to the sound, mute my sound, go to speed, increase it by 7 times, and click save. So there you go. Now I have a video that's now only about just over 2 minutes long. This is your timeline of how long your video is. So in the audio section, go to audio. So up here you have different audio, text, media options. So media is your media. Text, if you want to add, maybe at the beginning of your video, you want to add some kind of text like, time-lapse video, or add your name or something like that, just as a little intro, you can definitely add that with any of these text options. Now I want to go under audio, and if you go under free sound, there's a handful of different music options that you are welcome to use. So you can click on any of these, test them out, see what they sound like. So I think for me, this one sounds pretty good. For a test run, you do not need it to be maybe the one that you actually want to use for the final. That's fine. Whatever sound you do choose to use, make sure that the sound is copyright free. So what I mean by that is that you're not just taking, a modern piece of music, but that there's actually, you are given the permission to use it. So that way, if you would like to showcase your video online or put it in as part of your portfolio for the end of the year, you have that option to do so, and you don't have to worry about there being any repercussions about the sound in particular. Okay, so as you can see, that pretty much wraps up my video. So let's go ahead and do a quick test, see how it's looking. All right, that looks good. I'm going to speed up just a little bit. All right, so as you can see, this is pretty much all you need to do to create a quick test run. Now for your final, you probably will want to jazz up your work just a little bit more with some kind of opening sequence, and maybe find better music that really accompanies your work really well. But for the purposes of giving it a test run, I just want to see that you can make a time-lapse video from start to finish, and you can show me that you understand that process. All right, so to wrap everything up, to finish things up, you just click on this button that says Finish. You want to make sure that you give your project a title, and then you have a couple of different options for choosing a thumbnail. So, I could either choose either one of these, and that would be fine. For the purposes of this, you can keep it as standard quality in terms of the resolution. For your final, you might want to go with the high definition quality, just so it's a little bit nicer. And then where you want it to be saved. So obviously I like to have mine saved in WeVideo, but I also like a copy to be put in my Google Drive. So Google Drive should generate a folder that's called WeVideo, and that's where you can find it. So if you type in that search bar WeVideo, you should find all of your WeVideos there. All right, and then the last thing is you can also mark your export as whether it's public or private. In order to share it with anyone, it does need to be public, because otherwise, if we go to try to look for it, we're not going to be able to find it. So then the last step is just to hit that export video or export button. And as you can see, my video is being queued. So it usually takes a couple of minutes or more, depending on the length of your video and the complexity of your video. So if you add a lot of text, a lot of different transitions, things like that, it's obviously going to take longer. The shorter and more simple your video is, the less time it will take. So if you have any questions, definitely feel free to reach out, but that concludes this demo. Thanks, guys.